gamers, and welcome to episode 6 of this series, where we review random games, tell you a bit about them and give our honest opinions. I'm Danny and today we'll be looking at Gremlins, Stripe vs Gizmo on the Game Boy Advance. The first thing I want to mention is the delay between the movies and this game. 12 years. There is 12 years between the second movie coming out and this game being released. What? 12 years. There must have been something else around in 2002 to base this game on. I find it a little mad. In this game you play as either Gizmo the Mogwai or Stripe the Gremlin. When playing Gizmo's story you have to prevent Stripe from ruining Christmas for everyone by retrieving all the presents that Stripe has stolen. And in Stripe's story he comes up with a scheme to destroy his mortal enemy Gizmo and destroy his Mogwais. The game has two modes, Adventure and Time Attack. They are both very much self-explanatory and do very little to stand the game apart from the many other 2D platforming games on the Game Boy Advance. Let's talk about the game itself. I don't think I'm overreacting here, but this game is one of the worst games I've ever played, and it comes down to 3 fatal flaws. Number 1. The collision detection is awful. It can be quite difficult to hit your enemies or press switches in the background, but it can be very easy for the enemies to take your life away in a matter of seconds. Number 2. The sound and music are way below par. The music is standard trash which simply doesn't fit the feel of Gremlins, and the sound effects are incredibly annoying. Number 3. The worst problem of all is the camera. It jerks around every time you decide to turn your character around. The character moves too quickly, which makes the camera just lose its shit sometimes. Even with all these problems put to the side, the game has very little to offer. And believe me, this game has many more problems, but I feel like these 3 are the main culprits. I guess I could mention a few minor issues I have with this game. For a platforming game, it can be rather difficult working out what you can and cannot jump on. Either character you choose moves way too fast, which makes it almost impossible to not get hit by the ground-based obstacles like fire and electricity. I guess if I am looking for good points to share about this game, I would say the graphics are decent for the Game Boy Advance. Everything is crisp and colourful, and the still images in the menus are very clear. I guess I would say that the fact that the passwords are only 5 letters long is a bonus, but honestly I don't see who would need passwords on such an awful game. Now I know the GBA has a lot of trash in its game library, but for me, this has to be one of the worst. What is your least favourite game on the Game Boy Advance? Let us know in the comments section, we just might cover it in a future episode. Anyway, I've been Danny from Press Start Gaming, and I hope you've enjoyed our quick look into the plastic GBA cart shaped dog turd that is Gremlins, Stripe vs Gizmo. As always, see you next time.